Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
And today we're going to talk about Andrea Carter and her bizarre take on Caitlin Clark not making the Olympic team and how she has contradicted herself. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so and hit that notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next videos. So, Rob, as we know, it's not going to happen. They're not going to add Caitlin Clark to the Olympic team. We found out they're not that good, the team. They lost the Team WNBA.
But yeah, why would she be in that losing team?
Yeah. So, Rob, we know they arrived in London and nobody cared. And there's a video about that. There was nobody there. There was not one fan there.
Right.
And Rob, they wanted attention and they didn't get any because Caitlin Clark wasn't there. So, anyways, when she was left off the Olympic team, all the women on ESPN, and I hate to point this out, but they were all black.
I was going to say, yeah, the black women, yeah.
Okay. Argued that was the right call, and because they were choosing the 12 best players, which, of course, we knew wasn't true because at that point, Caitlin Clark was already better than Diana Taurasi. Not only were her numbers better than Diana Taurasi, Rob, she did it while being double teamed and triple teamed with an incompetent coach at the same time and getting bad call from refs and a much tougher schedule. So she had like 6 things going against her, and she still had better numbers than.
Well, actually 7, like we said, and also the mental anguish that she was getting from outside. So
at the time, Diana Taurasi was averaging 1.1 assists, and Caitlin Clark was averaging around 6 at the time. So Andrea Carter gets on and says, they made arguments for why she should be on the team, and then of course they said it's the best team, and we'll get to that. But then the argument came up about Diana Taurasi. And I'm going to point out again, Diana Taurasi has not been in an all-pro team for 4 years. 2020 was the last time, okay? So she's not one of the top players in the league. And she also is not a good defender at this point in her career. She's actually, people call her a liability. She's never made an all-defensive team in college or in the WNBA. And she's 42 years old. And yeah, she belonged on the team 3 years ago because that's only 1 year removed from the all-pro team. But she didn't belong anymore. And it was obvious she didn't belong anymore, because they have plenty of experience on the team. All the women are between the age of 26 and 33.
Right.
They have the 4 best players on the team, all who are 27 or older, have experience and could give them leadership. Like Brianna Stewart's been on 2 Olympic teams already. So they didn't need her leadership. All right. So then she argued, well, guess what? We need Diana Taurasi because she knows how to make a pass into Brittany Griner in the post because she plays with Phoenix Mercury. Now, first of all, Diana Taurasi is a shooting guard. Second of all, I just pointed out she had 1.1 assists. And third of all, I could pass to Brittany Griner in the post.
Right.
Even she's in international basketball, there's no one that can cover her. And so that was a silly argument, Rob.
Right.
She made all sorts of arguments. Oh. Let me give you some quotes that she made at the time, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Stephen A. Just in background, Stephen A. Smith argued she should be on the team, even if she's not one of the top 12 players. And then he also argued from the marketing standpoint, which, of course, is politics, and we'll get to that.
Right.
She said, now is not the time for microwave success. Now is the time to stick to what you know, what you've always done. I'm going to stop right there. That's not what they've always done, Rob, as you know.
It's not. Yeah, it's not what they've always done. And what does she mean by microwave success? What do you mean by microwave success? You're saying that Caitlin Clark is just like, just suddenly appeared out of nowhere, and now she's successful. So she's already contradicted herself already. She's already admitted that Caitlin Clark is good, and is successful, but I guess in a microwave kind of concept.
Okay, and they've not always done this. They've always added young players, Rob, who weren't one of the top 12 players. And they added Diana Taurasi before she stepped foot in the WNBA. They added Brianna Stewart. They added Candace Parker and Sylvia Knowles. So they've done it 4 times before. So this is not what they've always done. Okay, right. They on a regular basis, they've added the best player coming out of college. So that's number one. That's bold.
Yeah.
She said putting the best team together. They didn't put the best team together because we just pointed out Diana Taurasi is not one of the 12 best players. And she doesn't know any of the players. And then she went on, Rob, God forbid if more minutes are required. Well, they're not required. It doesn't matter what her fans clamor for. If she doesn't deserve the time, they don't have to give them to her in the Olympics, right, Rob?
Right. She was saying that if she was on a team, she would take away minutes. And I doubt that very much because of the coach who doesn't like her. Coach Lynn doesn't like her. So I think she wouldn't even put her in if they were up by 30 or 40 points. She probably wouldn't even put Caitlin Clark in, no matter how, what the depth.
Yeah, I don't think she was going to much playing time with this coach, regardless.
Yeah. So,
maybe, let's say Chelsea Gray came back and it was clear that she couldn't even play. She said, I can't even play anymore. And they decided, okay, we'll finally put Caitlin Clark on the team. Then she would get playing time because now that she's the only point guard. Right. I mean, so you got Sabrina and they got Jackie Young, but those aren't really point guards. They're not pure point guards. So I think she would get playing time in that sense. But in the way it was originally with no one dropping out, she's just there instead of Diana Taurasi. Yeah, she wouldn't have got much playing time.
No.
If everybody was healthy because the coach hates her. Coach Reese hates her.
Yeah.
So first of all, you don't have to give her the minutes. You don't have to play her when the game's, they're playing someone they obviously are going to beat or the game's not close. And that's going to be a lot of games, or at least 2 out of 3 pool games. And their quarterfinals are games that aren't going to be close. They're not going to be competitive. They didn't have a game closer than 16 points last Olympics. Okay, so stop it.
Yeah.
Right, so then she said, what if she's out on the court not meshing with the players because she has a very unique style that's difficult style to mesh with without a significant amount of time? Okay. Now, anybody listening to this videotape watch the Team WNBA play Team USA? She never played with any of those players other than 2 of her teammates who she barely passed to in that particular game. Mm-hmm. And she had 10 assists and 2 turnovers, neither of which were real turnovers. One was a shot clock violation that's not supposed to be a turnover anymore. And another was a pass that wasn't a good pass, but the other team never got possession. It wasn't really a turnover. Both of those weren't supposed to be marked as turnovers. So she had 10 assists, a rookie record, 1 off the All-Star record, and no turnovers. And she never played with almost all those players. And she made 3 unbelievable passes, Rob.
Right.
Without turnovers.
Exactly.
3 high-risk passes and still had no turnovers. They were all completed.
Right. So, I mean, her theory of like, she won't mess with the team. She doesn't have enough practice with them. If you're a great passer, it doesn't matter who you're playing with. If you're a great passer, you're going to make the great pass. And the people who are going to be surprised are the people who've never played with you. So your style is not going to change. You're still going to be a great passer. If I see you open, Mark, I'm going to pass it, and it's clear you're open. I'm going to pass it to you. Pretty simple. I'm not going to have to, go through any kind of process of it. It's not that hard. So, and then you saw what happened. Like I said, those fantastic passes, and you just see the WNBA All-Stars bench going wild, crowd going wild, us going wild over that. So I mean, I don't know what she's talking about. She's really reaching out there.
Well, then she made an argument about not having the physicality that she can handle because she hasn't had a break, like she was doing it for her own well-being. And then there was an argument made about international play, and someone pointed out she played on 3 international teams. She said, "Well, Brianna Stewart played on 6." Like now the argument is she didn't have as many as Brianna Stewart. So that's ridiculous. She played on 3. Okay.
Yeah, because she said she had no international experience, none whatsoever. And then
someone pointed out that she had 3 on the under 21 teams and stuff like that.
Right. And then she said, see, I mean, here's my point, Mark. Really, if you this is straight out to say you don't like, if you just come out and say you don't like a person, I mean, they can deal with that, But if you're hemming and hawing back and trying to like she just said, Brianna Stewart's got 6. You didn't even listen to what the person was saying that they had 3. You said 0, and she got 3, and you're putting all these stupid points about passing and not meshing. So that means that if she was on a team, the whole team would be discombobulated. Like, oh my God, we got Caitlin Clark on the team. How can we play?
And then she talked about physicality, Rob.
Right.
And again, the international basketball is not as physical as the WNBA. The WNBA is the most physical basketball in the league, men's or women's. Okay, so stop it. She can handle it. She handled it in the WNBA. She got more physicality than any player in WNBA history, or at least since Candace Parker. Okay, so that's a silly argument, Rob.
And double team, triple team in an all-star game, Mark. An all-star game. And it still didn't stop her from having 10 assists and no turnovers. Yeah, she still got 10 assists, almost broke the record. I've never seen that like that. I've been around for a while. I have never seen a player like that double team.
So Stephen A. Smith was arguing from a marketing standpoint should be on the team to grow the league. And then she also argued, well, they don't need to grow the league, with the Olympics. They can grow it, with Caitlin Clark playing in the WNBA. Oh my God! Are you serious? Do you know how many eyes are on the Olympics, both nationally and internationally, to help grow the league? That argument was so bizarre. So I don't know. You got mental issues if you're making that argument.
No, right? She just wants to be. She doesn't want to. She just, like I said, just come out and say you don't like her. Okay, it's okay to say I don't like Caitlin Clark, and people would be like, okay, she doesn't like Caitlin Clark, but to have all these lunatic reasons that don't even make any sense.
And Rob, it gets worse. Okay. So Stephen A. Smith was arguing from a marketing standpoint, and they're saying, okay, your favoritism or something like that. So basically he was arguing, yeah, there's politics involved, and that's okay. And they kept arguing, oh, no, you can't have politics. You can't have politics. We've never done it that way. We've never done it with the politics. It's essentially what she was arguing.
Right.
And she knows about the snubs in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, just yesterday on tape, she said, oh, there's always been politics involved in the selection committee of the WNBA. And Stephen A. Smith went off on her and said, that's what I'm arguing about that. She said, well, you are arguing from the marketing standpoint. Now, Rob, if you're putting someone on for the marketing standpoint, that's politics.
Right.
That's exactly why you're doing it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, exactly. She was going breaking it down. Oh, well, it's like the piece of it's part of the piece of a pie where you got this piece here and you got this piece. Yeah, you are correct. That's what you said. You're correct. And marketing is a piece of that, of politics.
Right. Well, I mean, and so then she asked, Stephen A. Smith pointed out Isaiah Thomas being the most egregious situation about talent not being on there. Instead of sending John Stockton, I'm not so sure there was much of a difference between the two in talent between John Stockton and Isaiah Thomas. There was very little difference between the two of them. But he should have been on the team one way or another. So Stephen A. Smith was saying, because of X's and O's and because of talent, that was a bad look for the NBA. So she asked Stephen A. Smith, what's worse, being taken off the team because of politics or being taken off because of X's and O's and talent? As if that was a got you question.
Right.
Now, if you're not being allowed on the team because of your talent and X's and O's, you're being left off the team because of politics.
Right.
So the two, you can't separate the two, Rob. They're intertwined. So it wasn't a gotcha question. It was a dumb question.
Right. She thought she was all like, and I'm going, okay, so what do you mean by X's and O's? I thought X's and O's was left up to a coach as far as determining what plays. And her saying that, okay, that question that she asked him, you're still not, like he said, you're not listening to what I'm saying. He included that, but she wasn't listening to what he was saying. That's what he'd been saying all along, and they were jumping on him. And then,
right.
Don't tell me that marketing, it is a part of, she just stated it. She said, oh, in the WNBA, it's going to be better for her there than in the Olympics. So she already stated the fact for herself that she mentioned it.
Right. What bothers me, Rob, is when she was snubbed, and I maintain this was a big snub, and it looks even worse by the day. They claimed this was all, because choosing the best players, and politics didn't enter into it and shouldn't enter into it. And hasn't entered into it. Now she's admitting it does enter into it. Enrique was kept off the team, and that was because of politics. And so, so that's another snub, obviously. So she's admitting that was a snub. Okay. Now, team chemistry is important. We get that. But Enrique is the second leading scorer in the team, and she also gets assists and rebounds.
Right.
So she's one of the top 12 players easily, Rob. Easily.
Right. She's second in scoring. Yeah, she's second. She's second in scoring in the league. Don't tell me. So what does that prove? I guess she shouldn't be on the team.
Yeah, she should be on the team. Like Jewel.
And the reason why, Enrique saw what was going on. So she saw the politics of it. She already saw that. That's why he's like, well, I'm not even going to even try to don't even put me on the list as far as that, because I see what's going on. She's. The players, like we talk about, the players see what's going on. They see it more than other people. You're playing against somebody. Other players watch each other play too. So you're like, wow, this Caitlin Clark girl, whoa.
Right. And all these women who didn't think Caitlin Clark should be on the team on ESPN were all black females, Rob.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
No, Mark, that's one thing, Mark. Let me stop you there. You don't have to be sorry about that. I keep telling you that. Don't be sorry about when people of any color, when they start disliking and they say it's not racism. When people of any color start pulling this, and it is racist about a person, and then it's blatant right out in front of you. You don't have to be sorry as a white male or white person that you have to say all these black women are, because it's wrong. What they're saying and doing is wrong, and right is right and wrong is wrong, no matter what color you are.
Right, and this is my point, Rod. This is why I think it's racist by these women. One, they haven't come up with a good argument, and number two, they're all saying the same thing,
right?
And they're all black females, and they're all in one group, and we know that the WNBA is black females predominantly, and we all know they're all jealous and envious of this white woman getting all this attention and getting all this money. There's no other explanation that I can see, Rob, other than race, is why they're not arguing for her to be on.
And then all these black women, including at ESPN, whatever, and outside of it, they're not going to change their mind. They're going to band together and stick by the sister. We got to stick up for our sister because, the system's always been keeping us down. And then when we played and when they never promoted us and we weren't out there, where were they when we were playing, or when the black players were out there? It was there. It was there. Don't blame it. They're putting all this blame and pressure on because Caitlin Clark, she doesn't give a crap. All she wants to do is play basketball.
And Rob, you don't think it's coincidence they're all into Angel Reese being Rookie of the Year too?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You need another argument for why I think it's racist by these black females on ESPN and other people in the media.
Yeah, the
and
blinders
too. And
the blinders are on. The blinders are on towards just to say, okay, and no matter what we say or no matter what people say, there's still, we can point out, again, we do the stats with against her and against Caitlin Clark and Reese for Rookie of the Year. It's not even close. But
I don't have to look at stats. I watched them play, Rob.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not even close. But they will still stick to that and you ask the reason, and you know why. Because of her race. Not because of that. They were sticking with it because of race.
I realize this isn't racism as bad as what's happened to blacks in our country. But any racism is wrong. And unless we stop being racist and seeing skin color when we're evaluating somebody or treating somebody, we're never going to get rid of it. So it's just as wrong when the blacks do it as when the whites do it. And it's not reverse racism. It's just plain racism. And it really sets our country back, because until we can have honest discussions and stop claiming racism when it doesn't exist, and also not being racist, it's never going to go away.
And so, so say like, here's a scenario. So say like Angel Reese is the Rookie of the Year. Let's say that for a fact. Do you think and then it's going to flip over to the white side and say, oh, you gave her that because she was black.
I would say that, Rob. If right now, if the season ended, yes, there's no question in my mind. I would say that it's not even close decision in terms of who's the better player.
Yeah. So where's the stop here? This stop. Just like you say, I'll say it slower. Stop it, because just look at the person and the player. If you just close your eyes and or watch the game without blinders on, and you've already seen the All-Star game. So I know it's already starting to turn some people over, but there's still the hardcore people who we're not gonna break, the mean girls, not gonna break from their hate for this person.
Yeah, I don't know, Rob. And all I can say, Rob, is that Andraya Carter looks like an idiot.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's an idiot. I don't think she's dumb. She's able to come up with all these arguments, so she's not stupid. But her racism and her bias is making her look like an idiot.
Yeah,
and
it's showing.
Again, that's one of my problems with sportscasters and everybody, all sports fans in general. They don't know how to be objective. If you're being objective about this, you're saying, yeah, Caitlin Clark's better than Andraya Taurasi. Andraya Taurasi is too old for the team. She shouldn't be on the team. They got plenty of leadership. She should be on the team. Even if she doesn't get a lot of playing time, who cares whether she gets more attention than everybody else? They want to develop players for the next Olympics. That's the argument that you would make if you're not looking at from being biased about this, Rob.
They have it seems like women have no concept of business aspect of dealing with things. I mean, like we said, the Olympics, it's international. We had people commenting from UK, from Venezuela, from Philippines on our site only. We're not even that big. Can you imagine if she was out there?
That reminds me. Someone made a comment in our thing and says, "You guys have to get out more." She's known internationally. She's popular internationally. We've said that like 5 times on videos that we're aware of the fact that she's popular international, because I found out through Christine Brennan that all these people are reaching out to her when she wasn't on the Olympic team. So stop it, really. It was just like, we don't have to say it every video that we were aware that she's popular international, but she's nowhere near as popular international as she is in the United States for obvious reasons. And she's not going to be even after this Olympics, because she's not going to be on the Olympic team.
Mark, my brother-in-law from Taiwan, when he calls on the weekends, he was asking, he called me over and asked me, "Oh, who's this Caitlin Clark I see about?" He does. I mean, he watches basketball, but he doesn't watch women's basketball. He likes NBA. But even he was inquiring about her because he's seen things about her, and they were having something about her in Taiwan. Yeah, she's world. She's like Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide. So
right. I guess we'll end on that. I think she looks like a fool. Yeah. And for whatever reason, I think it's racism. Only she knows for sure. I can't get in someone's head, and I think it's all for all those women, because none of it makes any sense. If they had making like logical arguments, then fine. I'd be okay with that. Okay, all right. It's just we just happen to just agree to disagree. That's not what's happening here. No. I just showed you how illogical her arguments were.
Well, racism is.
I'm sorry for using logic, Rob.
Well, racism is. I know. Again, you did it. That's 2 days in a row, Mark. Come on.
I'm a lawyer. What can I say? That's what I do. I use logic. And guess what? They can call me out. Fine. Show me where my logic's wrong, and I have no problem answering to anything, any criticism of any of my opinions. Just show me logically where I'm wrong.
But racism, Mark, is ignorance. So you are correct. Racism and ignorance kind of go together. If you're racist, that means you're ignorant, because you're not looking at the person. You're just looking at the person for the color of the skin, and not the content of the character, like Martin Luther King says.
I got to end on that, Rob. Martin Luther King's my favorite, so I love that line. But guess what? Okay, so we're going to cover the Olympics. You can join us live 2 to 5 from July 27th to August 10th, except, and I want to get the dates down, Rob.
All right, get it right.
U.S. women's, I'm not following the U.S. women's Olympic basketball team. I'm rooting against them because that's the only way to get the committee fired and the coach fired is if they lose. And they're playing on the 29th and the 1st at 3:00. And if that's on NBC, which I think it is from what I saw in the rating, I'm not covering those 2 games. Those are the third pool game is that they have 3 pool games, is going to be 11:15 in the morning. So that won't be on the 2 to 5. So I'm not covering those two games. And if the quarterfinals, semifinals, or finals are between 2 and 5, I'm not covering them. But other than that, join us for that, because that's going to be really good. This is the first time NBC has ever done it, Rob, where it's basically like a primetime show, because all the primetime events are there. And then they're going to have a primetime show at night, but none of it's all going to be re-recorded. Everybody's going to know the results. So this is the really best thing. So that's why we're covering it from 2 to 5. And Rob's going to be there sometimes. I'll be there every day. And I'm only going to take off those 4 hours as of right now. All right. Anyways, join us for that. Now, a normal live show is Mondays from 6 to 8. That may change when football season comes around, but we won't do it during the 2 weeks during the Olympics. So you can join us for that. You can call in on the live show. It's pretty cool. Right. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. Hit that notification bell when you do. You'll always get honest, objective viewpoints from us, at least the best we can about being objective. And if you want to donate to this channel, you can do it with the super chats down below. And also there's a link to PayPal also. And we'll see you in the next video. And hopefully we can talk about basketball.
Yeah. Peace out.